Hello. What, yo? This 1080p thing, and all of a sudden everything's going slow. Listen, hello. We are back. For another episode of Big Expanses, the late night Liverpool call-in show. I am joined by Romz, I am joined by G, and I am joined by K-Mac as well. People, make sure we smash the like button if you're watching this back, or if you're watching this now. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you tune in. Of course, you guys already know, once we get to a certain amount of likes, we will open the call lines and you can have your say and speak with the man. Of course, every Monday, you guys ask for it back. And if you guys ask, you shall receive. That's how this channel works. Man, how are we doing today?
Good.
I feel good.
Good day,
I feel super good. Yeah, I mean, Monday and that, good start to the week. I mean, man, let's keep it pushing. Man. How
I
are
had
you?
the last couple of days off. It was my birthday, and I'm back at work tomorrow.
Hey,
Happy birthday.
belated, man.
Hey.
Happy belated.
Happy
Happy
belated.
birthday, man. Happy belated birthday, man. Everyone wish K-Mac a happy birthday in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
You know, that's just how we do, man. But yeah, man, we're here. I don't really know what to say because like with Liverpool right now, it's like either someone's leaving, Virgil's the new captain. I'm not really with it. It's just like I don't know, man. I don't know. If I speak, they're gonna call me a hater. So I'm just gonna get to the chat, and then we're gonna get to the light goal, and then we're gonna get started. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's actually get to the chat. Big up Bonkers LFC in the chat. Big up Ethan in the chat as always goes. Fabinho and Henderson gone in one window. I can't believe we escaped the gulag. I used to pray for these days. Why did that in my head? I used to pray for times like this.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought.
That's at least I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one in it.
You got me.
Huh?
I was saying shout out Meat Mill. Big up me.
Big up Meek, bro. You know what I'm saying? Big up Albert in the house as well. Obviously, big up Honestly. He goes, big up the man them and Obrigado, Flacco. Yeah, man, it's farewell. You know what I'm saying? One of the best DM I've ever seen play for the club. Yes, better than Mascherano. And no, I'm not comparing him to Xabi Alonso either. I believe they were different players before you guys throw that one at me. And also, why is wrong? You know what? Some of these comments I'm just going to ignore. Big up Ada Andrew says, Mont's hating Captain VVD already. Yeah, and I am. I'm not. You know what? Let's just get into it straight away, innit? What do you, man, make of Virgil being the captain? What do you, man, make of this?
For me, he don't scream leader to me. It's as simple as that. I like, why didn't Alisson get this? He can speak English. He's our goalkeeper. He's the only player that's consistent. He's not had a bad season for us. He's not had. And when everyone else dropped off, he was the only constant that was keeping us in a respectable league position. His English is great. He can see everything. I've always been, I don't know about you lot, but I've always wanted my captain to kind of be in the defense or a keeper so you can kind of see everything. I've never really been for forward players to be captain. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but my preference has always been someone kind of in the back line. But I want it to be Alisson. If you said VVD's Vice, I get it, but I think Alisson was my number one. This VVD news, I won't gas by it. I kind of did expect it. I'm not gonna lie. I said either him or Trent, but I thought Klopp would kind of go down that Gerrard route because the Gerrard route because Gerrard got it at this similar age to what Trent is, maybe even a bit younger. Gerrard might have even got it 22, but yeah, man, I knew it would be them two. Wasn't sure which way, but I knew it would be Trent and thing. But I think this is kind of a kick in the teeth to Alisson because he's been our constant, and I just think he would have done well with it. He's quite vocal. I know they say obviously you don't always have to be you don't always have to show your leadership and your captain skills through being vocal. It can be through how you play. There was a few shouts for Salah. I know Gian wants that's your guy. I don't know your thoughts on that, but that could get to an extent because again you can lead through playing well. Last season, obviously, he's still part of the numbers. There was many games that I still would question. So, do you know what I mean? But I thought it should just be Alisson, in my opinion. Yeah, big up Aiden. I knew it was around his age because Trent's 24. Gerrard got it, I think, a year younger. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. That's my thoughts on the captaincy, man. But we're going to get behind them regardless. Aren't we, G?
Bro, why?
I'm joking.
I'm silent, bro. Listen, if VVD's captain, then VVD's captain. Is he a leader? We'll wait and see, man. I mean, yeah, he seems like one of those kind of players. I don't know. Honestly, like I'll be so real. I don't know. I probably would have just given it to Salah. Like, and that's not even me trying to even be biased. I just
I
probably
hear
just
that.
would have given it to him because I would have just thought. I don't know. I look at now. It depends. You got like two type of captains. You either got whoever's the big boss, whoever's the Don Dada, they're the captain of the team. So you got Benzema who's the captain of Real Madrid. Do I think he was even a leader on the pitch? No, but he was the Don Dada. That's the guy when he walks in, everybody's, everybody has to stand up when he walks into the room. That's the kind of effect that Salah has. I don't feel like VVD has that type of effect. You know what I mean, in the team, but he's such a good defender. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So he will command a level of respect regardless. Anyway, he's captain of it was the easiest choice. Like he was the next in line. I don't think Klopp really thought about it that deeply. I genuinely just believe he was the next in line. It makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I would love to know how Salah would feel though. Like, I would love to know. He'll obviously tell people like, yeah, we'll get behind him, but he would definitely be sitting there thinking, why wouldn't I be? Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the top two players in the team. I'm the only one who's this consistent every single season, like every season since I've been here. Do you get what I mean? I've led us through, bad moments and that.
Sorry to stop you there. I don't know if this rumor was true, but apparently he was a bit pissed off that he wasn't even getting suggested to be captain. I don't know how true that rumor.
I want to talk about that. I'll talk about
that. The fact that Trent is the vice captain again. Like I said, it's I don't know what the criteria was. Do you know what I mean to get? Because I don't look at anybody like Hendo. Like that's what I said about having two types of captain. Hendo wasn't that good at football, but in terms of I would say outside of football, he's probably the best person that you'd want to be your captain because of the stuff that he would do off the pitch. Whereas I don't feel like those guys who are on the pitch now, I don't feel like really anybody has that type of charisma, leadership, off of it. But listen, man, if it's the choice, then it's the choice. I keep telling people, man, let Klopp do what he's doing. You know what I mean? It's his job on the line, not mine, boy. So he can run his rhythm and we'll see how that pans out.
Before we carry on, obviously big up Jason McNeil for the £5 donation. I really appreciate that and appreciate you. Even as a rival, I love these shows, lads. Big up as always, and look forward to tonight's content. Appreciate you, Jason. Jason, are you a Man United fan, man? What?
That's the first thing that comes to my head. When you said rival, I'm just assuming United.
Yeah. Jason? What team do you support? Let me know. I'm pretty sure it's United, but I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments. Honestly said, as someone who lived in Holland for 9 years and you've got a Dutch passport because of my island connection with Holland, I would rather prefer Robbo Salah before VVD as captain. Aiden Andrew says, you don't really think captain is just on the pitch. Gerard got it at 23. He is generational though, you know what I'm saying? Taper Fade Trent is captain material, says Capo. Big up Capo in the chat as well. Just to add on to what you guys are saying, I think with Virgil here, it's not about I just don't like him as a captain. I've seen him as a captain. It's been trialed, tested, and failed internationally and at club level. So I'm not doing this off of preference. I'm doing this off of evidence. That's what it is. Like, unfortunately, I just feel like with Virgil, whenever he has the armband, I think it weighs a bit too heavy on him, and he's unable to really sort of. I just think he's unable to play his game a little bit, and I've seen it internationally. His legends don't even rate him like that. They don't. Have you heard the stuff that they've said about him with the armband? They do not rate his thing.
No, they don't.
They don't.
Who was it once? Van der Vaart and I think Ruud Gullit. I feel like there's a few of them, like 3-4 of them.
It's whoever's in the commentary box on the day that they're playing. Whoever's in the commentary box. It's any of them, bro.
So for me,
go on.
For me, maybe he was just the only guy left in the WhatsApp group. And they just looked and went, who's left? Oh, they've all gone. We've sold all them. Okay, Virgil, do you want the captaincy? He's the only one left in here.
He was the
they've
vice
got that
anyway.
leadership group, haven't they?
But Virgil, well, he wasn't the vice, but like Milner was the vice. But he was after Milner. Milner wouldn't play quite often. So when Hendo wouldn't play, who gets the man? Virgil. So he was still in line.
He's had the captaincy 40 times, by the way.
Exactly. Robert wasn't.
He's had the armband 40 times, like during games, like as in starting games as the captain.
I'd love to know the scoreline of all of those games.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I haven't
all them games end up
into that. Think about it as well. Romz is right. Like for me, it was a no-brainer to be Alisson. It just was a
100%.
no-brainer to be Alisson. And I even thought maybe Salah and Alisson, Salah captain, Alisson vice captain, because he even came out and said there's going to be a big announcement, there's going to be a change. Well, there's no change because it went from Henderson to Milner to Virgil van Dijk. That's no change for me. And who was the vice cap? The vice captaincy is is Trent really going to wear it that much? Virgil plays every single game. He's going to wear it maybe 5 times in the whole season.
And K-Mac.
And he never comes off.
For me, it's the consistency element. Alisson and Salah are the 2 players that have not had a bad season for us. No matter what I think of Salah, one thing I have to say is he has missed the consistency. And Alisson, they've not had a campaign where you think, maybe Salah's had half of one, but he's not had a full season where you're like, you've been dead kind of thing. But for me, it would have been them two. I wanted it to be Alisson and Salah, but I just knew it would be Trent and VVD. But I didn't think it would be in that order. I thought VVD would be best because he's kind of had it before that month. Said that we've seen him captain a lot. And I just thought Trent being Scouse, that sentiment, boyhood fan, all that stuff, I thought he would be nailed on number 1, but worked out the other way.
What I'll find interesting, I'd love to be a fly on the wall as well, is that drive in that Trent and Robbo have when he finds out that he's got the vice captaincy, because I'm pretty sure Robinson thought he might be getting it. He's the captain for Scotland. Everyone thought he's got a chance, and then Trent just comes out of the blue, and they're best mates as well. That's going to be an interesting one that for me. But the thing about Salah is Salah's not even in the leadership group. How is Salah not in the leadership group? That came out. I find that unbelievable.
Wait, so who's in the leadership?
He's a
Who
ball
is in
leader.
the leadership group then?
Salah's never been in the leadership group on WhatsApp. That came out. You had Henderson, you had Milner, you got Virgil.
I didn't even know this, I'll be real.
Yeah, he wasn't in the leadership group, which I find mental. Oh, Albus just said he is, but I didn't think he was. Okay.
By the way, people, actually having a light go. I'm being very slow today. So I'm walking zombie.
Big up Capo, sorry, once the minute leadership group was mentioned, I thought of kids. Big up Capo, bro. That's what kids was banging on about.
The leadership BS. I'll get to that later. But listen, people, there's 60 people in the house right now, nice and early. Make sure you smash the like button. Of course, the like total for today for us to open up the calling lines. Because again, this is a calling show, people. So for us to open up the calling lines, I'm going to say right now, I'm looking at, I'm going to be harsh, 100 likes. And then we open up the calling lines. And everyone, you guys can call in and, say what you want to say. At the moment, I think we're on about 25 and close. So again, get those likes up. Again, Mason Mount, open play, GBA type stuff. We need more. But before you do that, make sure you go and subscribe to K-Max channel as well. Make sure you go and also subscribe to GTV, obviously, with amazing content over on their channels. Big up Jason McNeil for the other super chat as well. That's two in 10 minutes. I appreciate you. He goes, this month's Man United indeed. A Man United fan tuning into LFC content and saying he enjoys it. Hey, we have to love it, man. We have to love it. Big up Casey in the chat. He goes, I hear that 100 likes is light work, people. Big up Casey as well in the house. Big up Richard Hutchinson as well. He goes, hi, Monts, K-Mac, Romz, and GTV. How are you all doing? Milner, Ox, Keita, Henderson, Fabinho, and maybe Thiago leaves. What is going on in the transfer market this summer for 23-24? Like, comment, and subscribe. Well, I mean, I think that's the kind of worms we'll have to open at the end of the show. Yeah. Right now. I'd say that now. I just wanted to get more suggestions in terms of looking at the captaincy, because when I look at Van Dijk, I feel like he is quite vocal, but it's more when the back line doesn't drop fast enough or the line isn't secure enough, so he just shouts. And it's not more of an organization thing. I think when it comes to organizing the line, I think Virgil can do that. I think he can, but and I hate to use this comparison. I think when KDB has the armband, when KDB has the armband, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it sometimes affects the way he plays a little bit. Like I feel like Virgil has to focus on his game and the back line and all that sort of stuff before telling everyone else what to do. The second he starts telling everyone else what to do, he goes into autopilot. And we know that right now, autopilot Virgil van Dijk is not the Van Dijk that we feel like can take us to the next level. I feel like autopilot Van Dijk is the Van Dijk we saw in the first 2/3 of last season. And that is not good enough. It's not good enough to lead. It's not good enough to partner Konate, because Konate is rash. He needs to be monitored. He needs to know. He needs to be told what to do. All these things. Do you know what I'm saying? All these things. I just, that's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
What everyone on the panel, people, what are you people looking for, like in terms of a captain though? Because like when you look at Jordan Henderson, this I say context and time. Like when he was the captain, remember we were duds. Like we were nobodies. So when he was in there, being Mr. Loudmouth and doing all of that kind of fancy stuff, like on the pitch, and then eventually not even growing. I think he was always been that type of person where off the pitch he's just that type of guy. When you inevitably do all of those kind of things, it's just like, all right, cool. Like that's why with like a KDB, yes, at times I do agree. There will be times where maybe ways I don't know, but like if you want to say that, then fair enough. I feel like we should be in a stage where it's like, I'm not saying don't care about captaincy. I'm not saying it's unimportant, but the top clubs out there, I'll be so real. I look at like the Real Madrids, the Manchester Cities, and the Bayern Munichs. Like when I look at their captains, there's not a mad importance upon who's the captain of the team, because they're all leaders. You know what I'm saying? They go out there, they all do their thing. So there's not so much. I know we're just talking about it, but I just mean in the general sense. I'm wondering, what are people looking for in this captaincy thing? Because for me, I'm just like, if you're going to pick VVD, then pick him. Obviously, what Muntz is saying, I kind of do agree in terms of him being an actual leader. So it will be interesting to see how he actually does moving forward. But I'm also just sitting there like, I don't even care who the captain is, man. It could be any one of these guys. I don't feel like you're going to change. It's going to change too much. I feel like we should be in a position right now where it doesn't even matter. Pick Ali, pick Salah, pick Trent, pick Van Dijk, Robbo, whoever you want to pick. Any one of them. We should be able to just go out there. It shouldn't even matter. Captaincy shouldn't even be at the top of our to-do list, because we should be already at a stage where it like those kind of things, when you, like I said, you look at the top clubs, it doesn't matter. No one cares who the captain of Real Madrid is. No one cares who the captain of Bayern is. No one cares who the captain of Manchester City is. No one cares about those things. I just feel like maybe we've placed so much importance because of Gerrard being who embodies Liverpool and all these kind of things, and then Hendo taking over, and then the emotional thing, we win the league, Hendo, all of these kind of different things. Now, honestly, that's why the captaincy thing, I'm just like, yes, I would have preferred it to be Salah, but I'm also looking and thinking, I don't even care. Like, anyone could be captain. Literally anybody. Guess what? I still expect you to go out there and do your thing. The captaincy shouldn't even be something we even talk about. Like, we shouldn't even, like, I've seen, like obviously I keep going back to Manchester City, but those are rivals. Ruben Diaz, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Carl Walker, like, it doesn't even matter, man. You know what I mean? Just pick someone, be the captain. Let's go out there. Let's just do our thing, man, because we should just be at a stage right now where this shouldn't even matter in the slightest, bro. Like, it shouldn't even be a thing like that.
That's a good point as well, because we should just lead. We should just have leaders all over the pitch. And if you look at all the players that we've got, like, we have got a lot of captains. Like, Robinson's a captain for Scotland. Virgil's captain for Szoboszlai. You've got Gapco. He was a captain for his old club.
He has for
You've got Trent, who's captained England. Like, we've got a lot of leaders all over the pitch. It shouldn't be a case of, and let's be honest, when did we ever suddenly change tactics or suddenly do something different in a game? we line up to line up and we play how we play. So Virgil van Dijk's not going to change any of that. Like, we're still going to play the high line. We're still going to do this. We're still going to do that. He's still going to play that long ball. Like, he's not going to be the guy that's going to change anything. It's just going to be a case of just being a leader. And we've got plenty of those in the team, hopefully. I even think McAllister is quite a leader as well. But yeah.
We'll have to see.
I'm more with G. That obviously, because the news came out, there's feedback.
There's mad feedback. Yeah. Feedback stuff. Hold on, people. Might be coming from yours, Romz. because I muted Jerry and he came back. Hold on. Bear with us, people. Technical difficulties.
Is it better now?
Hello. Yeah, a little bit better. Yeah, that's fine. I can hear it a little bit. I can still hear it a little bit, even now. Hear it. Hold on. Is it chat? Can you guys hear any echo right now? Chat. Let me know if you guys can hear any echo. Yeah, Romz coming
To
from
me, it
you.
sounds calm.
Maybe the volume. Turn the volume down
You
a
mean?
little bit. No, on Romz's. Maybe turn the volume down. Like the volume coming back out is. Yeah. But anyway, just to listen. There's no echo. That's what everyone can. I can hear a little bit of echo in it. But I don't think it's me. Yeah. All right. Listen. We'll move on. What was you gonna say, Romz?
Is it calm now? Yeah.
Yeah, it should be calm.
But just echoing what G said. It's a thing where even when I look at other big clubs, more time I don't even know who the captain is. It's just that you've got so many big personalities and quality around the pitch that you're kind of clueless. And for me, just echoing what G said, I'm not really too bothered as long as we win matches and we're progressing as a squad. I don't really care who the captain is. That honestly is that real. But obviously, I know we have to speak about it. Obviously, because the news broke today, people are making it a big thing or whatnot. But just go out there and win matches, man. Honestly, just go out there and win matches. But like I said, if we had to nitpick and whatnot, I did have my favorites.
But this hear what you said though. You had your favorites. Mon's got his favorites. K-Man's got his favorites. I've got my favorites. People in the chat got their favorites. Shouldn't that then already tell everybody? We've got bare people. There's bare play. Like everyone's talking about Robertson. People were mentioning Alisson. Like you just mentioned Alisson. You know, Monts wants whoever he wants. I want like and this is what I say. Like I'm not saying it's necessarily unimportant because it's a captain. At the end of the day, like you know, the guy who's going to do the coin toss and that, and if we go to penalties, he's the one who has to pick and that. Yeah, cool. Like do all of that stuff. But I mean, but outside of that, like, we should be. Yeah, you know, that's what the captains are doing.
Hand out the little thing at the start. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever that thing, that stupid thing that they always hand out, whatever that is. Like again, it's just whoever. Like it's not even that it's unimportant. It's just one of those things where I'm just like, oh, he's captain. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Like I don't care. Like all right, well, is that going to change our game? Like you know what I mean? We're not in that Gerrard era where he's the only captain. Like you know what I mean? Where you know there's only one man in the whole team who can captain this team to do certain things. We're in a better state now, man. We've done past all of that. You know what I'm saying? That bummy behavior. We've gone past that. We've got all of these leaders, so-called leaders in the team. So I expect to see all of these leaders come to fruition come game time. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Obviously, someone got to wear the armband, so we can have our favorites. It is what it is. But ultimately, like I said, we should be in a state like I know Monts, I think you were laughing. You didn't touch on it, but you was laughing at the beginning about Arsenal and their like leadership group and all of that kind of stuff. And the thing is, I kind of hear it like it's funny, but at the same time, I'm like, if they feel like they've got bare leaders in the team, I love that. I prefer that than no, it's just this one guy. If this one guy don't play, Jesus Christ, this team is falling off a cliff. They can't forget all of that. That's for dead teams. I need you to have like as many captains, even in that Manchester United era where Roy Keane was wearing the armband. Guess who else is on the pitch though? You got all of these other guys who can step in. Yes, you've got the one main guy, but you got all of these other guys who step in whenever we need someone to step in. You get them? If John Terry didn't play for Jose Mourinho, you've still got all of these other players who are good enough to step in. Obviously, he's going to play more games, so you're going to see him captain the most. But I just feel like with Liverpool, now we're in a new era. This is new Liverpool now, so it's going to be a little bit funky, a little bit funny for everybody. This is the better era, in my personal opinion. Moving forward, captaincy, cool. You know what, VVD, you're the captain. Let me see what you got, big man, and then we can go from there. Literally, man, just got to get behind it, really.
Bro, the reason there's still echo. The reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because
I'm not against what you're saying, by the way.
Like it's just what I believe is that if the level of captain is at a certain place, then quite honestly, it's fine. If there's a group of captains and a lot of the people in the club are captains, then I believe the general level of leaders is not very high in the team. So Arsenal have all these leaders, these lead type of leaders that they say is in the squad. But in my opinion, who's the best type of leader? What's the highest caliber of leader they got? It's just not very high. So this is whole leadership group thing going on. When you have Liverpool, you have Henderson and you have James Milner, and that is very high caliber captain material. So no one else really needs to step up. That's the way I see it. And if we don't have, so again, if now we've lost Milner, we've lost Henderson, and we need to have a leadership thing, then fair enough, I understand that. But it's just, I don't know, man. That's just what I see in it. That's just what I see. I feel like the level of captaincy, if it's high enough, then you don't need no group. You don't need no group. Because you listen to that guy, you listen to the second in command when he's not there. And if that level, again, it's maybe different from Man United because, yes, they had Roy Keane, but they had so many leaders, but all those leaders were out it was here. Szoboszlai is the captain of Hungary, and he's 22. Is he a good captain? Let me know. Is he a good captain?
Couldn't tell you. I actually couldn't really tell you.
Is he a good? There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's
the 3 Hungary games, he was very good. One was against England. I think he scored an important qualifying goal for them.
They beat us twice.
No, this is what I'm saying. No, for Hungary, from what I've seen them 2 games in isolation, he was a good captain. If we're talking longevity-wise over a period of time, I don't know. But from what I saw, suppose that for Hungary, he looked like a good captain. And one big indicator of a good captain as well is you raise everyone else's level around you. He had some of them Hungary players playing out their skin. So to answer your question from them games, yeah, that's it. But I don't know at club level and it's also the club you're captaining. Captain Liverpool, would he be as good? Who knows? But from what I've seen, he was a good captain for them from a couple games.
Yeah, no, I do hear it. By the way, people, before I move on to get on to what K-Mac wants to say in terms of all of that stuff, make sure we smash the like button. We are about 36 likes away from 100 likes, and then we open the lines for the call-in shows to have their say and obviously to chop up with the man them. So again, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe as well. The like button is just down there, people. We're on 64 likes. We should easily be at around 90 to 100 right now. So let's hit that like button and help and support the channel. And I do apologize for the audio issues. It keeps coming through. But yeah, K-Mac.
What I wanted to say as well is we're all talking about captaincy. We should all be buzzing that Trent's got it, by the way. I'm absolutely buzzing that Trent's got it. Local lads from the youth team, I think that's fantastic. I think that's a really good masterstroke by Klopp as well to do that. Have you seen the video of him where he's been told that he's got it? There's a video. Yeah. It's really nice. I can't wait to see him wearing the captaincy. I think that's going to be fantastic. And I hope
he's had the armband a few times, isn't it? Has he had it a few times? He has had the armband a few times.
Yeah, we just it's been passed on, hasn't it, like that? So, but I think it's really good. And also, what I want to see as well, I can't wait to see Virgil doing the shuffle with the trophy.
It's true. It's true. I think to be fair,
but will this be a straw?
I'm not angry at the whole. Honestly, I'm not angry at Virgil having the armband. Yeah, fair enough. He has that armband in it, whatever. But I just personally would have gone with this. It's just not my preference. Not my preference. And I hope I'm proved wrong. And Virgil turns out to be a brilliant LFC captain, and he can live up to it. And it's just as simple as that, really. I'm not really going to dwell on it too much longer. I don't know. Does anyone else have anything to say about the captaincy? Because it's not a topic I wanted to dwell on for too long. But it's one of them ones.
Nah, man. Big up VVD. You go ahead. I just got to see, just back him, really. You know what I mean? Honestly, like I said, I don't care. We reached that stage now. So
yeah. No, 100%.
Oh.
What was I going to say? You might have to just jump in and out for me just because I think the echo might be coming from yours. I've tried and tested while we've been talking. Just pop in and pop out if you can. And then and then we'll sort out the audio issues. Before we move on as well, make sure you guys are slapping the like button. Liverpool 4, Leicester 0. Obviously, Bendo getting his goal. Really good to see. Jota scoring the header from the Salah assist. Obviously, Nunez getting a good striker's goal as well. Who scored the third goal? Who scored the second goal? Was it?
Clark.
Clark? Was it Clark who scored?
First goal was Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clark netted as well. Yeah,
A
Clark
lovely
netted as
finish.
well. Yeah, very good
Nice
finish
finish.
actually. And let me hit some of these comments because I want to get G's opinion on some of the stuff on this game, especially as well. So let's have him here when any of that's happening. Aiden Andrews goes, "Oh, what's a good captain? Monts, please define." You've heard how many times? Like,
That's
you
another
don't know
show.
what type of captain. You don't know what type of captain I prefer. I prefer Gerard, Henderson's prototype of a captain to Gerrard's. You don't know this. Stop making me say it over and over again. You don't know this. I'm not gonna lie. I also think the type of captain you need also depends on the team you have around you. So if you have a star-studded team around you, you're probably gonna need a Henderson because something has to gel them together. If you have a team where there's more an average branch of players, then you're gonna need a Gerrard. That's you know what I'm saying? Different strokes for different folks. That's what it is, man. So come on, people, come on. What you see? Romz, you can answer that question.
He is.
Big up to Abba as well. G's back. Thank you. G, you're back. Right. So
You're taller than me, though.
I don't know.
I'm 6'3".
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Oh,
Yo, you see you BFGs and that. You 6'3" guys, like you, Jerry. I know you see this, bro. You tall guys. Yeah, man.
Man, we're gonna move on. Leicester versus Liverpool. Of course, we won 4-0. Some good patterns of play in the game. I was absolutely it was a good game to watch. Good football. I think at times we were cut open as usual because we are quite fragile at the back. I want to talk about Konate. I'm not convinced with his defensive intelligence and his prowess on the ball. I know, I know.
None of us are disagreeing.
Konate slander. Oh, how could you? Oh my God, Monts. Oh, how could you? Honestly, I ain't convinced. Konate is scaring me at times. Why he's diving in, destroying the line. And I think the more Trent pushes into the midfield, the worse Konate gets. I'm sorry. He's a bit overrated, man.
Let me just start because Monts, we were saying this at the weekend because me and Monts were watching it together. Right? First of all, when it comes to 1v1 defending, the crunching tackle and that, Konate is excellent in that regard. That he's very athletic, get back, put in the side tackle. He's very imposing. But in terms of being intelligent and reading the game, knowing when to press, knowing when not to press, knowing when to hold the line, Monts, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I do worry with Konate, and I think you're spot on. The more Trent goes into this inverted role, and Konate has that responsibility to maybe not engage too much because we saw it in the first 20 minutes. Leicester could have been 2-0 up. Let's be honest. We saw it in the first 20 minutes when Trent went into the inverted role and they countered us. Instead of Konate kind of holding the line, he wanted to commit and then they were popping it behind us. And there's a time where McAtee even skipped past Trent a few times. And if you want to big up Kelleher, by the way, because Kelleher made 2 big saves in that game, but. And I know the thing is though, I know people are gonna say with age, you can get better at these things. He is quite a young defender, but I just think with Konate, he's gonna have to act on this quite quick because the expectations we have and where we want to go as a club, we can't afford for him to keep kind of making the same mistakes and us conceding in the same type of way. But I'm with you, Monts. I do feel. Our fan base, I'm not saying, and people need to understand, overrated doesn't mean bad, you know. That people actually need to realize what overrated mean. I know it has negative connotations to it, but it doesn't mean you're bad. It's just that people are rating you to a level maybe you're not at yet. But I think as a fan base, we put this guy on a pedestal and he's not there yet. That's my opinion. He's not there yet. And He does worry me once. He worries
Can I
me.
jump in?
It's-
Can I jump
let
in?
me just
Yeah.
say this for you, because what he brings you as a defender is phenomenal. Speed,
That's what
power,
I'm saying.
pace, his slide tackling is very. I think that's something that is quite incredible as well. The way he's able to wrap his leg around, kind of like in a Wan-Bissaka style. I've seen him do that a few times. Where I'm like, well, I didn't know you kind of had that in you. But when it comes to the other stuff which actually really matters in the Liverpool system, why the best Liverpool we've probably seen is with Joel Matip and with Joe Gomez before he broke his metatarsal and before he got the knee injury, is because Joe Gomez, even though he was quick, Joe Gomez is nowhere near as strong as Konate. He's nowhere near as strong. He isn't as aggressive, but the season we won the league, and when Matip came in towards the end of the season after he broke his metatarsal, and Matip came into the team, these guys can play ball. They can spray 50-yarders. They've got a good touch. They can punch the ball in between the lines. These are the things that Konate, it doesn't come for him. It doesn't come to him naturally. What it does is he has to think about it. And whenever you have to think about something to do it, the players who can do that instinctively are always going to best you in that sort of department. Do you know what I mean? And because he dives in and he's so rash, obviously he's a young defender, so these things come with age. But I think there's this thing where people ignore his mistakes way too much and way too often. If Gomez made some of those mistakes that Konate made, you already know what's about. You know what I'm saying? You know what's going to be said.
I spice all of the memes and that will come out.
You got to realize, man, Sugo Konate, yeah, dope defender. Like, if you ask Donny to just defend, yo, he's sick. I think he's sick. Like, he's got all the attributes that you actually want from a defender: fast, strong, stereotypical attributes, but he's got them. You know what I mean? We got to have them: fast, strong. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't getting the ball off him like that. When we then try to translate that into football, you know what I mean? Start getting a bit technical, start adding tactics to that, start looking a bit weird. And it's funny, it's only really because we moved to this back three that you're just more maybe seeing, would I say, his deficiencies, so to speak, i.e. not that great on the ball, not comfortable on the ball, not really good at dribbling, can't really pass out that well. Not that he can't pass at all, just can't really pass out that well. So yeah, I think it's a tricky one with him, man. I've always said, for me, he's got to be the one who plays in the middle. Like, if you're going to play a back three, you put him in the middle, because then you don't have to worry about him going out wide to have to try and defend. But at the same time, I also can't really get onto him too tough, because Klopp's the one who's telling the guys to play this way. Klopp's the one who's saying to him, technically speaking, I need you to go out there to that right-hand side. I need you to go out there to cover that right-hand side, because Trent's obviously going to do that inverted thing. So it's a bit like with Robbo. We're seeing the deficiencies more so because of the style of play that we're implementing, when it's so simple to play a back three. Like, I just think we're overcomplicating it, and we're seeing the deficiencies. 2 seasons ago, man wouldn't say nothing about Konate or Robbo. Now, these men are dead, or like, all of a sudden we're finding these faults because we're playing a game that doesn't even really suit them. Play it simple, man. Literally, just play it simple. You'll be fine. Honestly,
But then, see, I hear you, and the system would benefit him a lot. But I think you would even agree with this. There's some things where this isn't an instruction by Klopp. There's just sometimes Konate is just engaging when he does not have to, bro. And that, for me, that's no instruction from the manager. You already know my views on Klopp, and we said this last summer, G, that he should have changed the formation ages ago. But Konate sometimes does things where I don't think it's an instruction. He's just literally impulsive. He's thought, I've got to do this. Forget what I've been told. I've got to do this because I feel I need to do it. In terms of engaging when he doesn't have to, and the amount of times he's at players have ran in behind due to him just engaging, or for him being too keen, it's ridiculous. In that first 20 minutes, me and Mott were looking at, they actually could have been 2 up. If it was not for Kelleher, I know it's but if it weren't for Kelleher, they would have been 2 up. There's a time where Trent even managed to recover, but where he was tired, McAtee just skipped past him. But
So
I agree with you, he's a dope defender, but when it comes for me, it's like he can't multitask, because he can do the the actual foundation of defending, the tackling, the heading, being aggressive, he's excellent at that. I'm not disregarding that at all. But when it comes to knowing when to press, holding a line and whatnot, how many times has Konate been the player in our back four to play the player onside? When everyone else has stepped up, I've noticed a lot of times. Sometimes it is VVD as well. I'm not just going to let VVD get away with this. But Robbo and Trent are normally good at holding the line, but it's Konate's that one. I know we've conceded a few times last season, and Konate was the one to not step up in time. And Alisson again bailed us out. But there was many times where I'll see Konate is the last man. It's that you're not in sync. You're not really getting it. But yeah, like I said, I think we do overrate him. I've been saying I think we overrate Konate. And you know what I was saying, G, when we compare him to other centre backs.
Can I just touch on that? Sorry, my headphones died. Konate is 23, 24 years old still. Like
24, I think.
He feels, for me, it feels like he hasn't had enough experience in enough games to be able to have the amount of responsibility that he has right now. If you look at him, what he does is something that we don't need a defender to do, which is put out loads of fires and run to the ball and run to the players to attack them. We need guys who are intelligent enough to be able to play the high line, and when they can't when they can't get to a player, or when they can't tackle a player, then you leave it to the next man, or you just try and play offside. And he doesn't do that. He can be something really special, but I think he needs to play in a different position. Like, as in, he could probably do that job in the Robbo position, but obviously Robbo's there, because we need a guy that has got the intelligence like Matip and Virgil. And if you look at Matip, when he played that role when Trent was doing the inverted role, he actually did really well at it, because he realised that he needs to drop back further and he doesn't need to attack the player, because he's not going to win that. If he doesn't win that duel, the guy's in. Or if he doesn't come up at the right time, the guy's on side and he's running past him. And I think he's too eager to win those battles, because he likes winning those battles. And if you look,
you can tell he enjoys it. Yeah, absolutely. He thrives off it. Yeah,
he thrives off it. Like Lovren. Do you remember Lovren? He does what Lovren does.
Yeah,
I absolutely think. I think Konate is incredible. Like, honestly, he can do so much, but he does what Lovren does, and he wants a battle, and you can't have a battle in that position, because if they go past you, they're in. And it's really interesting as well, because if you look at Liverpool's defence, and I'm not saying this is his fault, by the way, this could be a number of things, but if you look at Liverpool's defence, we suddenly became leaky when we signed Konate. I'm not saying it's his fault, but we suddenly become quite stale at defence when we got another player in on top of Matip. Just saying.
Listen, I said it once, I said it twice. Everyone's talking about this left centre back area, and I keep saying that's not going to solve anything with that defence. You need to get a left centre back. You need to get a right centre back, because you need to get someone who is just able to play the system that Klopp needs. And Konate, for me, just personally, he's just not that person. He's a really good defender. Put him in the middle, play a back four, and he doesn't have to do all of that stuff on the right-hand side. Maybe if Klopp changes the way that he plays, maybe, then we might see a better kind of thing. So obviously where Romz is that cheeky little comment there about, is he better than other defenders and stuff like that? Really and truly,
comparing him with his age.
Spooky.
In fact, not even age mates. Them man are younger than him. Is
he younger?
Yeah, Konate 2 years older. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, yeah. It just cool. But then it starts to get a little bit spooky, in regards to certain players. And like I said, I don't want people to think that I think he's a bad. I think he is actually good at the defending side of the game, which sounds so tact to think that we're talking about a defender being good at defending, but not being good enough for the team. But that obviously tells you where football's kind of moved to now.
Yeah, that's where football's moved. And this is what
I know.
Because the
It's
same
crazy.
guys are going to tell you, because then people are going to turn around and say, gee, what are you talking about? Because Trent can't defend, and you know he needs to be a defender first. Well, guess what? We got a defender first in Konate, and it's not good for the system. Do you know what was good for the system? Trent playing at right back. That was good for the system. Do you know what that done for Liverpool? Gave us our best years that we've seen in the last 10 years. Give us our first Premier League, our first Champions League. We want everything there is to win off of a guy who can't defend. So again, what's more important? Someone being good at the traditional side of the game, or where their position lies, or someone being good enough for the system?
It's always the system.
Cancelo's not a good defender. I'm pretty sure
Always
Zinchenko's
the system with
defender as well. I'm pretty sure Rodri ain't even the best tackler. I'm pretty sure Busquets can't even tackle that well.
Hey, leave Busquets alone.
Do you know what they're good for though? The system. And in today's game, where there's less Mavericks and certain Mavericks who can be top tier generational, probably wouldn't play under certain managers because they need to be thriving in the system. So this isn't anyone getting onto Konate saying he's not good enough for Liverpool. He's our second best centre back, no doubt. But unfortunately, there's certain things you need to play at centre back with our high line, with the way we need to play, to be able to feed Trent, to buy him as much space. And if you can't do that, I don't care how good you are running back. I'm sorry, I don't care how good. Look how good Wan-Bissaka is 1v1. Look how good he is. You cannot get past that guy. You can't get past him. Try to get past Wan-Bissaka. I dare you. I double dare you. I don't see where that gets you. You didn't give me Mbappe. I'll see where it gets you. How good is he amongst the right backs though? Where did he rank?
Yeah, no. Listen,
he don't even grade his top 10.
I can't listen. I don't think anyone could really disagree, and I think people do know it. Like people, anybody in the chat, anyone on the panel, like agree, disagree. I think you know it deep down when it comes to Konate. I think we overlook it because of obviously what he's good at. He is really good at in that kind of sense. But then you're just like, that's not helping us though. You know what I mean? Like K-Mac said it there. I mean, since you have come, kind of looks a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna call that a coincidence. I'm not even going to say him. I'm just going to say that's a coincidence with other things and other factors. But it's funny that before you came, that right-hand side, as much as people still used to go down there, it never looked as weak as it did. And since you come now, all of a sudden, it's not looking too rosy. Again, like I said, I'm just going to call that coincidence. I'm not going to say it's Konate because I like Konate. I actually rate him. But at the same time, yeah, I think it's just a catch-22 with him, man. But if he doesn't really step up a little bit, I feel like you do need to start asking a few questions. I feel like with someone like Konate and like Robertson as an example, other teams, I feel like they would upgrade or get different. Upgrade might be the wrong word. They would get a different player in, even though these players are there. Even though you might think that these players are good, they would get different players in. Did you get what I'm trying to say? Like they would just do that because they know that he's good, but he's not what I really need. I don't feel like Klopp would ever do that though. Maybe the left centre back potentially, but then even then I don't know. But that set with Konate, I feel like he would just look at that and think, nah, he's young, he'll get there. I'll give him the try, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. Whereas I feel like we've seen enough. I mean, even prior to us moving to this back three, we already knew that Konate was never good on the ball. Like he was never a Matip. Do you know what I'm saying? He was never those type of guys. So, you know, for you to put him in that kind of position, it's tricky, man. I don't know. The thing
that worries me as well is he the type of character that can handle, like, if he has bad games or he makes loads of mistakes or he becomes, you know, an onslaught because Trent is doing that role and we are looking more vulnerable on that side? And is he the type of guy that can bounce back, play himself into form? Because if he goes missing like Gomez does, then we've got to worry, because that's another character that takes a few games to play himself back into the form. And that's the reason why Gomez can't get himself back into form, because we can't give him the games. You can't play someone that makes a mistake, then they score, and then you get played the next game. Like, that's not going to happen. You're going to get dropped or you're going to get moved on. Like, you can't let that happen. we haven't got the team that can cope with that many errors, because whenever we make a mistake, the other team scores. It always seems to happen. But I'm not dissing Konate at all, by the way. Like, as Ron said,
it's an objective
the system.
conversation.
It's the system.
I believe so. And I think that, I don't want fans to take it personally because we speak of a player honestly, because we're quick to speak honestly about rival fans players, especially Arsenal fans players. I'm the first to call man out. But I'll be the first one to say Saliba's better than Konate. I'll never fight that battle. I ain't fighting that battle.
Say that again.
Said Saliba.
You heard him, Romz. I like that.
Yeah, Saliba's better than
Rolls
Konate.
Royce.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
But guess what? Who's stronger and who's faster?
Konate. 100%.
In fact, if anything, they probably make a good back too, to be honest. They probably would.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, France are blessed. France are actually blessed. Their future is very blessed.
But I feel like because Konate is
Okay, Romz, before you just go on, who would you think would work better in this system? Saliba or Konate?
Saliba all day long because he's more comfortable.
All day long.
I think he'll be
And
able to break. He'll be able to break lines, and he'll be able to do what Konate does and break lines and more comfortable. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is what I was trying to spring to you before the World Cup. But
no, yeah, he was.
Another day.
No, he was.
Guys, I'll tell you a person who I think would work really well is Konate, who plays for Aston Villa. I think he'd work really well in our team in that position. Like, he breaks lines. Yeah, I think he'd be a great addition. He could do that job well. But I still think that Konate could play really well on the left. Like, the way we have that.
Nah, you couldn't. He can just about use his right foot. I ain't even trying to see what he does on that left hand side. Like, to even have him all confused and trying to come back into. Konate is the type of person, he loses the ball easily. When he loses the ball, he loses it so easily on that right hand side. I'll be so scared of him on the left hand side because I just know that he can't use his left foot. So if it then comes to a position where I need to turn back in, can't trust him at all in the slightest. He ain't going to be able to do that at all. He's not really that good under pressure. Do you know what I mean? Like, he is literally a defender. Put him in the middle of your three. Ooh, you got a baller. Let him just mop up, do the Van Dijk role, so to speak. Obviously, we've got Van Dijk there, so I get it.
Do you know what era Konate would have cooked in? The early noughties when it was literally just about defending.
Yeah.
Not that he's not cook, but that's the era for his type of defender. He would have been perfect. But with all this kind of inverted stuff and him having to fill in and do two roles, it's. I think he's even overwhelmed. How about that? I feel like before each game, Klopp's giving him an instruction that, man, I've got to cover 2 roles. Don't remember? There's a saying, within every joke, there's a bit of truth. When our interviewer asked him, do you know what I'm going to say, G? How are you finding Trent in a new role? Yeah, it's fine, but I can't keep tracking back for him. He's like, no, I'm joking. He can carry on. But no, you weren't joking.
You weren't joking, my guy.
You know what I mean? You're not joking.
You're as pissed off as everyone else watching it, mate. I promise you.
Yeah.
But nah, big up Konate, man. I think, we'll wait and see when it comes to him, man. I mean, it's difficult, though. It's difficult.
Big up Assad. Assad says, by the way, Assad said, Monsieur Rudiger shout on the show if Callum and Sam got overlooked. That's a very good shout. Fits you to a T. I'm telling you, you see Rudiger.
Oh, I never thought of that.
What, you thought, you think sign Rudiger?
I was saying, I said Rudiger.
He would never come there much. He
wouldn't. But just bring me a defender with a gold tooth who literally has a screw loose, bro, and that can still kick ball and that still knows, even though it looks like he's going mad, he knows exactly what he's doing. Bring me that. The way I've seen Rudiger dominate players is disgusting. I think he's almost like what we want Konate. Like, Rudiger and Konate are probably similar builds. Like, if Konate had that intelligent side of the game down to a T, scary hours. This is why I'm not impatient with him. I'm fine with Konate, by the way. If anyone doesn't think I'm very fine with him, like, because he can always learn. He's a young centre back. He's going to learn these things throughout his career. Hopefully, he stays at Liverpool long enough for him to get to that point where the intelligent side of things comes quickly. I just don't think he'll ever be that good with the ball at his feet. I think that's something that you just either have or you don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Can't
I still
coach.
think that. Go on. I still think in the back three. I think in the back three, Konate cooks though.
Yeah, same
But
here.
like, not in the back three that we play. Not in the back three that we play. Not that type of back three.
I
Like a
agree.
traditional, like a
That's
Chelsea
not
back three. He cooks in
Well,
the
ours
Chelsea
isn't a back three. Ours is a back two with no left back or right back at the moment.
Yeah, literally.
That's true. That's actually true. That's actually true. But this is but look, and
It
people
is
always say I'm
literally those
cooking.
two on their own.
People came out said it there. People always say, you always negative towards Klopp. Brother, we're watching the same thing, you know. This guy playing two at the back. Like, what do you even want Van Dijk and Konate to even do? Like, these guys they're doing a lot. I feel sorry for them at times because they are isolated at the back there. And you're like, we probably place too much pressure on them as fans because we're like, well, why didn't you do that? Like, why are you doing? I'm like, I mean, if you've kicked ball, I promise you, if you're two centre backs, like, you'll be mad knowing that your full backs or your wide, whatever they're called, centre backs, whatever you want to call Robertson and Trent, you'll be vexed. You'll be so vexed.
What worries me is our first game of the season is Chelsea, and now in pre-season they've been playing I think Mudryk and Maatsen either side with Nkunku in the middle. Imagine Trent going in that inverted role in a transition. You got them three running at us, and a Jackson. Sorry, I forgot Jackson as well. 4 quick guys run us, and Mudryk will be on Trent and Konate's side, and that's sheer pace. And we even saw in the Leicester game, we struggled with runners in behind. We always have struggled with, not always, sorry, but I'll say the last 18 months, we have struggled with runners in behind. But that first game of the season, it does worry me to an extent. But you know what? I do understand people that do say, for a centre-back, he is quite young, and he will learn this trade. But the way that we just kept getting cut open, not even just by Leicester, even the Goya, I don't know how to pronounce their name, but the German team, the Goya birth team. Yeah, man. I just think
I don't even want to talk about those two games because I lost
the real litmus
my
test will
ride
be
over there.
Bayern. The real litmus test will be in 2 days. The Bayern game, that's where we'll really kind of see where we're at, because at the moment they're having a stinky transfer window. They're not really getting their all the targets that they've tried to go for end up in at Premier League teams, but they still have quality. And remember, I was saying, I think it was on you or JJ's show a couple of weeks ago that these are the games I'm now looking at, because your car rushes, your Goya first, they're way below our level, but your Bayern units, I can't remember who we played our last game before Chelsea, but I do feel like it's is it Wolfsburg? I might be bugging. Is it Wolfsburg? I think it's another German team, but they actually play in the Bundesliga. I don't know.
Darmash.
So it's another second division team.
I don't know where they are.
They're definitely not in the Bundesliga.
Yeah. That's all I can tell.
You feel like you would have heard their name, unless they got promoted. But
nah, let me even check.
Bayern Munich's where I'm looking at, because I think that's the real litmus test, man. And I feel like if we forget the scoreline, if we have a good performance against Bayern, that will give me a lot more encouragement, a lot more.
The thing about that though is
guys,
we had Man City and we all got encouraged.
Guys, just quickly,
we won the Community Shield.
I did say 100 likes, obviously, for me to open the lines. We are actually over we're not even over that. We're actually at 80 likes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say if we get to 90 likes, I will open the lines. I'll give you guys the one discount, which I've never actually had to do today. But I guess maybe the like button's broken today. I don't know. And then we can obviously speak for about 20 more minutes with the guests. But this show was only supposed to be an hour long, but I'm going to extend it 20 minutes just because, again, it is a call-in show, and I'll let you guys say what you're going to say. Get this to 90 likes, and obviously we'll let people that you want to speak. You know what I'm saying? Get those. You know what it is? Because I know I've just looked at my phone, and people want to say what they want to say. But hey, it's the likes. I don't enjoy the likes. You know what I'm saying?
Get those likes up, everyone. Can I just touch on what Romz said as well?
Let's move away from Konate, because I do feel like with Konate that we've been a bit like we've been on him. But that's just something I've seen in the last 3 games. I've seen it too much throughout the season, and I just think with Konate we do ignore, because he's so good at one thing, we ignore his forethought, we ignore his drawbacks. Like the biggest game for me, everyone gloats about the game, the final in against Madrid. Everyone gloats about that final. How good he played at Madrid, but it was his mistake that led to the goal that should have been onside. It should have been on. His goal should have counted. Do you know what I'm saying? Bozo moment for me. And I don't care how good he played in the game. One bozo moment ruins that. And the bozo thing, it just pet peeve, man.
We have literally got 3 bozo defenders on that side of the pitch, by the way.
Literally, yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Big up Jason Miller for the super chat as well, with the £10 super chat. Thank you very much. Because come on, guys, hit the like button. You already know. Oh, look, now everyone wants to like the video. It's just like, big up Jason. Big up Jason McNeil. You know what I'm saying? Richard, obviously, big up Richard saying the likes are free. So Monks is saying Konate is a juiced up Mamadou Sakho. Mamadou Sakho was decent though. There was a time where there was a time.
Sakho could play the line. Sakho could play the line.
Oh, hey, hear me out. There was a time when the ball was on the floor.
I'm listening.
But there was a time where he weren't as bad as people said. He was captain of PSG at 21, by the way.
Sakho could play the lines. Right.
Sakho will get cooked in today's football, I promise you. Because aesthetics are not there.
Sakho for me is basically a Matip.
Huh?
Sakho for me is basically a Matip. He does everything that Matip did. Like he brings the ball out.
Sakho couldn't dribble.
Man, he was awkward, but there were sometimes I actually preed him hard. And he sly knew what he was doing at times. It was weird. Like it happened. It happened too many times for me to think, wait, is this? I always just think, did it. Same thing with Suarez. There was when Suarez first got to Liverpool, he was nutmegging players. I'm thinking, this guy's tripping over the ball and it's going through people's legs. But then he's doing it every game. Like, no, this ain't even the fluke no more. Like,
what used to kill me about Sakho, whenever he passed, it's like he would have to guide the pass, like his hand.
Yeah.
What's funny there, Romz, is you just said Sakho was awkward. Are you trying to say
shit.
Awkward?
All the time, like,
he goes, like,
yeah, he had to guide.
Like as if him guiding it is like some type of
gonna go.
It's gonna go.
He had to put mad emphasis on his body. Mad emphasis. And yo, Sakho, he needs to get an apology for that doping thing because man was actually innocent. That's what's so that is tapped. No one ever talked about
it.
His career went the same after that, man.
Yeah, literally. Even at Palace, didn't really hit the heights. You know, then how could you like when you're surrounded by?
He went Palace, innit?
Yeah, surrounded by Warden, then, man, bro. Warden, that.
He was there a couple of years.
And what's it, Bednarek and that? Like, yo. Sorry, Bednarek, but it's one of them ones.
Is Sakho the only player that Klopp sold, like literally got rid of? Like I can't remember anyone else that he literally got rid of, like out the club, like see you later. I feel like he was the only one.
He was like the only one, and it was Pete because he was definitely the best centre back we had at the time, bro. So
yeah.
That's what was so mad. I'm just gonna slap out the link now, but just to carry on, we've got a few more topics just to run. Is the front line looks dangerous, but before we talk about the front line, Curtis Jones, people, he slapped up again. It's like he has not slowed down since coming back from the Euros. He has not slowed down one bit.
Do you know what the most impressive thing is? Sorry, do you know what the most impressive thing about James for me? We know, and I feel like he's carrying on the form from the Euros, but we know with Jones, right? He's a forward-thinking player. Like he likes to be in the advanced positions. We saw it at the back end of last season, even with his goals contribution and his assists. But if you notice the game against Leicester, he's naturally taking up this 6 role now and trying to dictate play from deeper, and he's doing it very well. Now, that's probably, I can't remember who the England under-21 manager was. I think that's more testament to him because when he was playing in that pivot with, what's his name? The lad that used to be at United. I think his name's Gomez.
Angel Gomez.
Angel Gomez.
Lee Carsley is the manager.
Lee Carsley. So we have
United.
Yeah. Them two are playing double pivot, but they're playing quite deep, right? And it's like Jones has come into this team like, you know what? I don't always have to go forward. Let me naturally take up this deep line role and dictate play. And he's thriving. And it's showing me he's got more variation. He can play deeper. He can play more advanced. I'm impressed with him. And the thing is, don't fix what's not broken because me and you are speaking about it. I think he has a shout to start that Chelsea game. I genuinely believe he has a shout to
He
start.
will start. He has to start. He has to start. Remember, in terms of our traditional three that know the system the best, Curtis Jones knows the system the best. He knows it better than Marcus McAllister just came. He knows it better than Szoboszlai because Szoboszlai just came. He also knows it better than everyone else we have in midfield, probably apart from Thiago. And even Thiago Thiago's too good for the system. He's too good of a footballer for the system. So that still leaves Curtis Jones at the top right now. Henderson's no longer here because he's not good enough. And obviously his time's done. Fabinho lost his legs. So if you're going through the midfield, you know, everyone tells me Stefan was the best in that when he came into the team. For me, Curtis was better than him. I'm not gonna lie, man. Big up, Uncle Albert, bro. Uncle Albert, good to see you, bro.
Big up, Uncle.
Uncle Albert, what do you think of
Good to see you guys too. How are you?
Good, man. We're good, man. We're good.
Oh well, I'm sure all of you. I'm sure you all know how I feel about Curtis Jones. I think he's come of age. He really has come of age, and it's going to be hard to ignore him as a starter. You know, it's going to be hard because I don't like him as a 6, but I like him as anything else in the middle of the park, on the left side, on the right side. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I actually think the one who doesn't get a look in, at least at inception, will be Szoboszlai. I think, but I don't know. I'm still not getting my DM, man, and it's becoming late. It's getting late, bro. It's getting late. I just wanted to say something really quick about your center back debate because it's kind of interesting, but I think that many successful center back partnerships has they have like a hammer and sickle kind of partnership. The finesse guy and the brute. I mean, Bobby Moore, Jack Charlton, John Terry, and Ricardo Carvalho, Franco Baresi, and Costa Curta. Who else? Rio and Vidic. Gaetano Shirea.
You could even
the other
say
guy,
Saliba.
what's his name?
You could even say it to now and say Saliba and Gabriel. You could even just say you could even bring it to
exactly. So I don't really compare Saliba. Exactly. Puyol and Beckenbauer and Schwarzenberg. I wouldn't compare Saliba and Konate. I'll compare Saliba and VVD. I'll compare Gabriel and Konate. I mean, Maldini and Costa Curta. Sorry, and Nesta. I mean, that was a partnership. One person had all the finesse in the world. The other guy was just a hack. I think we should be satisfied with Konate being the hack, you know, and then, you know, just let it flow. He just gets injured too often. I think that's the real drawback. I don't really have any problem with his game. What I'm worried about is that if the invert system doesn't work very well, we'll injure him because he's fast and you know, he can catch up with people very easily. That's a good thing. But anyway, enough for that for now. We need to get our DM in, people. We need to get our DM in. This is like it's getting.
It's a little bit of Uncle. There's a little bit of feedback. The sound. Can you hear us, Uncle? It's connected.
Oh.
No, yeah, I think it's connection. I'll jump in and jump back out. He did have a point though.
Me?
Can you hear us? Uncle, can you hear us? Oh, well, I think he's gone. But he's probably going to jump back in again. By the way, the link is there for people. It is the pinned link. I think he's right. It is more of a defensive partnership. But let's move on to the attack just before he does come back. Darwin Nunez, 4 goals. 4 goals in 4 halves of football. You can't hate on it.
Hey, Romz, stop smiling, bro.
I'll give him his flowers, man. Listen, he's getting some of these strikers' goals. He's looking more composed in front of goal. And that is something that I think absolutely he needed to improve on. Because I feel like for him to be comfortable in front of goal, Nunez has to keep playing. Yeah, and if he keeps playing, he's going to be more comfortable in front of goal. I think he is still 1 second behind the speed that Liverpool play at, but it's only going to get better the more he plays. Is he going to play is the question. I think Gakpo isn't as big a goal threat as Darwin. I think that's a fact. However, Gakpo is still capable of getting goals. And we've spoken about this before, about how good players are. It's about how good players fit for the system and not how good they are, unfortunately.
Can I just say
that even applies to my GOAT, one of my GOATs in Thiago, bro. That applies to him, one of my favorite ever midfielders. He's so good, but does it fit the system? That's the question, the hard fought question you have to ask yourself. You know what I'm saying? So go on, Romz. I'll let you kick it off because I know he's your
I was just going to say, we just need a moment of silence because this is Nunez prop from Romz, and hopefully G gives him his flowers as well. But no. Anyway, like I was saying too much, right? In terms of this system, I hear you, but for me, Darwin's not helping himself in terms of being eager, running the channels, whatnot. I think if he just does the poacher thing, and because we saw Salah in our last 2-3 pre-season games, you know how, remember at the start of the season, G, we were saying maybe Salah's goals will be more reduced because he's probably going to be a facilitator with Nunez in that role, and obviously he still hit the numbers he normally does. I think if Nunez can kind of just stay in the middle and not be trying to do, because even when we're watching the weekend months, when he's trying to do the build-up thing and that he is behind, like he's breaking down a lot of our attacks, and I get that. But this is, for me, again, a system thing. And when you say he doesn't fit the system, I hear it, but I think he's not good enough for us to play to his strength. I'll be honest. And I've said this to you, lot. Well, if you're going to speak about being a footballer, I'm not deluded. I'm not going to say, Darwin's a cold footballer, but there's a difference. I think he's a very cold striker. Now, if we was to play to his strengths, I think this guy would cook. Honestly, I think he will cook. And I know you're going to say, off the premise of last season, you've got no evidence for that, Romz, because he hasn't, you get it, he wasn't bagging. And the two standout games are the Villa game and the City game, where he had about, 3-4 1-on-1s and fluffed all of them. But if you look at a lot of his goals, they were the similar type. They were normally the same prototype. Like if you look at the one at the Emirates, if you look at the one at Southampton, West Ham, it was balls whipped in that he's kind of running onto. They weren't ever really intricate play, and he gets the ball and he hit. Because we know when he has time to think and he's running on goal, he was fluffing them. Confidence was low. He was putting them wide. But a lot of his goals last season were whipped into the box, whatnot. I think even the one against Madrid, another one whipped in. I think if we was to play to his strengths, you'll see this guy cook. Problem is, I don't think Klopp has faith in him like that. And even our fans, say it again. Yeah, and you two as well. I don't think, and our fan base, you two, our fan base, and Klopp, that he's good enough to be that focal point. So the team revolves around him.
I've got a question for you. Darwin, how many goals did Darwin score in all comps for Benfica?
I think 34.
I don't know if it's that figure, but it was 30 plus.
34, yeah, 34.
Did Benfica win the league?
Sporting didn't they?
Well,
Right.
that's not the point, really.
Hold on, Uncle. Listen, I'm going.
Wait, was it Sporting? I think it was Sporting. Is that?
I'm going somewhere with this. Don't worry, guys. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going on one of my amazing dribbles through.
I think Benfica actually won the league, didn't they?
They did. So they didn't. Yeah. So the season Darwin played, last season they played. I don't think they won the league. Someone just check that for me. Did Benfica win the league?
I think it was Sporting.
In the last year? I know the answer, but I'm just.
No.
They didn't win the league, did they?
No. It was Sporting.
Right. Yeah. Who won the league this year?
Benfica.
So now I'm gonna move on to my next. Again, I've just taken on two defenders and I bypassed them like they weren't there. Now I know the centre back's in front of me now, so hear this one. The reason I say that is because everyone wants us to say play to his strengths, play to his strengths, play to his strengths. Now, if Liverpool play to Darwin Nunez's strengths, would that put us in a stronger position to get back to where we were? Or would it be better to play to what the players know and to find a false nine and play cohesively as a front three, as opposed to sacrificing everything and relying on the front man going forward? Which one is better? Forget the player, because Darwin is not Liverpool. Which one is better?
I'll answer this simply. The latter. But then this is when I've got to question our recruitment. Then why buy him?
Hey, it's not Darwin's fault, bro. It's not Darwin. We have the same celebration. We have the same celebration.
We need to have different strokes for different folks, man.
Do we?
Yep. We have to. It's that lack of variation. It's the lack of variation in our systems and our play that cost us 5th place this season, because we stuck to one thing until it was too late. Right? So there has to be games where we know that Darwin is better as a starter. There has to be games when we know that Gakpo is better in a false nine. Look, I'll give you an example. Against teams in a low block, okay? Against teams in a low block, would you rather use a false nine, or you go with a lead striker? What will you do?
False nine.
Exactly. So we have a plethora of players and systems that we should use. Let's use it and rather stop sticking to something that every coach tells us everybody knows how Liverpool is going to play. Okay. We can't keep giving everybody the same look.
Uncle, that's cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
One time, sometimes we play Gakpo with the false nine. The other we play Jota as a striker. Problem solved. Problem solved.
We paid months. We paid £85 million for that kid. We are going to use him, whether you like it
or not. Of course. I said it's not his fault. It's not his fault. Listen,
we are gonna fucking use that.
See, when it comes to playing,
what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with him? Put him on Big Six?
Yeah, probably. Hey, when he learns to speak English, yeah,
he has to. Well, he's gonna be the Spanish interpreter of Big Six. Listen, bro.
The problem that you have with someone like Nunez is, unfortunately, even the biggest Nunez fan, like, be real with yourself, he ain't never gonna be no elite striker, Haaland levels, like, and Haaland's younger than him, but Haaland's already at world class status level of the type of striker that a Manchester City will play to that way, and that way will actually help you to win a treble. Nunez can play to the best of his own abilities, and I think Montz is right. When he ain't gonna do anything where we're gonna be like, oh man, that was the reason why Liverpool. I agree with what you're saying though, Albert, in terms of we do need something different. Is Nunez the person? Did we need Nunez? Again, it remains to be seen. He's only just here, so we have to wait and see. Kind of thing. But at the same time, it's difficult to say with someone like him, because there's no evidence, and anything can happen in the future. So let me not say never. It could happen, but at the moment, there's no evidence that suggests to anybody, well, this is an elite striker, a striker in the making kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. He might get there. I'm not saying he won't, but at the moment, it's not there. So what Montz is saying, I'm like, well, it's kind of true. Like, did you need that? Because ultimately, Klopp then literally got the false nine that he wanted. Well, he got a false nine, plays him in that position. Liverpool look better.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be controversial. Without Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland doesn't get all those goals. So
yeah, I know. No, Albert, you're right. He gets 30 goals. That's what he gets. He gets 30.
I don't want to judge,
which is still better than.
Yeah, I know,
yeah, not
but
50.
I don't want to put Nunez on that scale. You know, for us to win trophies and win the league, I prefer goal contributions coming from different places. We need our Gundogans in there. We need people. We need players who are going to test goalkeepers in a low block from the edge of the box. We need. Look, last year, all our midfielders contributed a princely sum of 9 goals. All of them, in total. How many goals did Gundogan alone score? 11. We need goals coming from all angles. We need our defenders to chip in. We need the midfielders to chip in. Of course, we need our good old Salah to put in his regular 30 plus. We need Nunez to give us 20 plus. We need Jota to give us 15, 20, and you see everything will work itself out. We can't rely on one person and say, oh, Nunez has to cook and give us 40 goals. And then, Mons, the argument you started making that he scored 34 goals and Benfica didn't win the league becomes a reality because everybody thinks he should be the one who's putting in the goals. Just like we thought last year that Salah should be doing all the work. Then it gets to a point where he misses open goals and he can't even find the net in a penalty. I'm simply saying that we have to have different strokes for different folks. We have to template different ways in which we play different teams. One of the things that really hurt us last season were teams that were prepared to go and play in a low block and then test us on the break. We need to look at that. It's one of the reasons why I am still insistent that I can't understand why we haven't wrapped up this DM business. And to me, it looks to me clearly like we are waiting for money to buy that player. It's pitiful, it's pathetic, because at this level, Liverpool shouldn't be waiting for money to buy a DM. It shouldn't happen. But it looks to me like that's what they're saying. They're trying to do. Somebody's going to say, oh, no, that's not what they're trying to do. People need to go because, well, we've known that these guys were going to leave. We've known that 3 weeks ago. We've known that. What don't they know? Clearly, they were waiting for a payment to come in or some papers to be signed before they finish with this Lavia guy. If they are going to finish with him. Maybe it's a smokescreen for somebody else. But I don't even know, like I've said early, I've said it often, I don't even know why we don't go lock, stock and barrel for Caicedo. Why don't we go for him?
Hey, when I'm not entertaining Caicedo, Jack, it's going to piss me off.
Well, I'm just asking the question. But
no,
I'm saying... I'm
trying to pull my heartstrings. Not today. It's Monday.
Listen, bro. By now, we should have completed that DM conversation. We should have completed it. So for me, next season, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that good things are going to happen.
Yeah. But
we need to get by Chelsea early. We need to get by Bournemouth, and I always say Bournemouth with I take them with I hold my mouth before I say Bournemouth. We need to get by Newcastle. We can't go play Guimaraes and company without a DM. We won't win. Okay, we need to get Robertson to be more disciplined in transition. Otherwise, the likes of Almiron simply just blow by him. Sterling and Co, they blow by him, and people are going to say, "Oh, this is just what do you call it? Preseason. Well, we'll see on Wednesday. Wednesday, a big team is going to come to play. We'll see. We'll see what happens. G, do you speak the mother tongue?
No, I don't speak it, but I can understand a little bit.
Okay, there's a saying, there's a proverb that say literally translated means that if the dance is going to be good, we're going to know early. So we know our strikers are going to score goals. They've shown us preseason that they are going to be rampant, right?
I agree.
So we need to be able to screen our back four and then not get up and say, oh, Konate is erratic, this, that. Well, if you're not screening the back four, what do you expect? They're going to be erratic. We also have to start defending from the front. It's very important because if you have the ball, that's defense, right? If you have the ball, you are defending because the other guys don't have it. They need to come for it from you. We need to make sure that these things happen, and I'm sure we'll be fine. I am going title challenge. I need to go title challenge so that if it doesn't happen, at least we are second or third. I don't want to say we're going to be in top 4 and we end up 5th or 6th. I don't want to hear that.
I hear that. I just think that Nunez isn't the guy that's going to he'll give us variation.
I'm calling Nunez right now. I'm telling him we are relegating him to Big 6 bands, man.
Listen, you mean promoting him to Big 6 bands, by the way? And,
it's a relegation. We are promoting you to go and dive.
It's me straight in there. Fair enough. But I mean,
at least you get.
I'm more of a false 9, so I know.
At least you get the penalty, man. At least you get the
I'm
penalty and
9.
convert it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mons is a false nine.
you will be a
Hold on.
false 9 because you won't even appear on the pitch.
You're right. Big up
Yeah.
Gio, that's family with the £2 super chat. He says big up Uncle though. So yes, big up Gio, big up Uncle. There's still 181 people in the house. So make sure you smash that like button, people. I think we're on about 108 or 9 likes. So let's get to 150 like people as I've let this video go on a bit longer on as well. It's something to do with refuse to rate Nunez. Did I not start off this whole thing? And I said, like, he's been playing well in pre-season, and I told him what I think he needs to do and what I think he's doing well. He's still a good striker.
But listen, Mons.
Backhanded compliment.
But Mons,
it's going to be a backhanded compliment until I'm slapped in the face with more goals.
Mons,
that's going to actually get us where we need to be.
Wait, but Mons,
you make a point, right? Mons, listen, I'm talking about
let's talk, man. Go on.
We are going to have a dilemma. The coach is going to have a dilemma, though. Does he drop Gakpo or does he drop Nunez? It's a very big conundrum he's going to have.
That's not a conundrum.
That's not really a dilemma because he's not dropping Nunez.
In my opinion, you just drop Nunez. I just think it's as simple as that because Nunez, again, it's do you sacrifice the system you play going forward to suit someone who you don't even know is going to guarantee you the numbers you might need to get to where you need to go? Or do you improve the way that's been working for you for the majority of the time you've been playing and use what you have that's not part of the system sparingly? That's what I mean. So, again, Darwin Nunez can be used sparingly. I want to hold on, I'm going to let you go in a second. I want to see Nunez against United. You know why? High line, Onana, they think he's the guy, and Nunez is going to have a field day against a team like United, who's just started off using the high line. Against a low block, you're going to want a false 9, right? But just in general, I want to see Nunez play regularly in order to get the best out of him. But if I see Nunez play regularly, I think it's going to be more of a detriment to where we can be because people are having to adapt to that style. But again, there is the argument now that we have McAllister and Szoboszlai, the chances will be created from midfield as opposed to the wing backs only and the front three making magic with their intricate passing. You know, I don't know. This is my preference, and people can say I refuse to rate Nunez. I'm just brutally honest. And what it is, unfortunately, what you guys are all telling me is hopium. It's hopium.
Well, just before you continue, this is what I'm gonna big up 12, by the way. You guys obviously
big up you, by the way,
and big up everyone in the chat as well. That's actually what I wanted to ask was, why does everybody always negate the deficiencies with give him time, and 2, why does everybody think that he's all of a sudden just going to turn into prime Suarez? I have this feeling that with the Liverpool fan base is that for some weird reason, it's like I've never ever seen this for a player where everybody is so sure of the little evidence that we've had that this guy is going to be the Suarez, if not Suarez times 10, the way that we speak about him. And I'm genuinely like 12A, again, big up yourselves. I would love to know, why is it that the people think that? Because everything we've seen has been literally the opposite of that. So I'm wondering, why is it we literally, and then when people like myself or Mons, we know we're not on Team Nunez, we're not afraid to say it. When we then give you everything in terms of the evidence that we've seen, it's like, no, you guys, not you two, by the way, specifically, but in people in general, like, no, you guys are hating, and this, that's like, I mean, but you guys are literally watching the same guy. Like, we're not making it up. Like, we've all seen it. We've all seen him miss. We've all seen him do all of these things, but everybody is so convinced that he is just going to be this amazing striker, and I really want to know why. Like, I probably want to know why.
Okay. Here is let me quickly jump in and let me just say this. The reason is that I think some of it is hope that he will work out, but it also is the fact that we've signed technical midfielders that will be able to create chances for him. If you look at Szoboszlai, he has been doing it for couple of seasons at Salzburg, Salzburg and Leipzig. That doesn't mean that he will succeed, but he is good at finding that crisp pass in the final third. In terms of McAllister, he can do that as well. So the hope is that is a team or midfield that is catered to Nunez somewhat. So that will give him more chance of, being able to score. Now, is it going to be happening 100%? He's going to be the second coming of Suarez? I don't know. I don't think so. Suarez is a different breed. He was a different breed of player. But I do think he has.
That's all the comparisons I heard last season. He's quite
right
similar.
now.
You know what I mean?
No. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not.
No. I'm not saying not you two on the call specifically.
Yeah.
Like anything I'm saying, it's not you two.
I got that.
I'm just talking about
his mentor. You realize
I think it's because it's the system is being set up to cater to him that he will have a much better season than last year. I don't think he will be like a 40 goal a season striker, but I do think he will have significantly better season than last year.
If you're negating Salah's goals and putting him further away from goal to accommodate for Nunez, he needs to be hitting 40 goals. He needs to be, because that's the pressure it's going to be at if you're going to play with a striker at Liverpool Football Club. By the way, that's what I think. But I do hear what you're saying, though. Talk, man. Just chime in. I know you've been waiting for a minute to speak, bro. Sing your shit, bro. Let's go, bro.
All right. So, yeah, it's all good. I took notes and everything, Big up yourself. Yeah,
bro.
How it is. I got my journalism skills and everything else. I got my notes already. But realistically, you mentioned his performance in the Portuguese league. And you mentioned how they didn't win anything. You know what? And you're right. That Benfica didn't win anything with necessarily. He as a team with them didn't win anything. But who was the striker of the year for that year? Who was the best striker in that league that year?
Nunez.
Probably Nunez, okay. The guy who scored the most goals.
He was. I mean, he was, and that's the point of I'm saying is that you don't normally win the best striker of the year if you're a terrible striker. Okay. All right. Well, that's one down. So now two.
I can still hear you. All
right.
You'll never get me down, man.
I know. Let's try and get the G's to go to Avatar. All right. So then, all right, I get it. Money, you get the money spent on him and everything else. It's always attached with, everyone attaches to what he does or what he's doing comparatively to how much he actually spent on the player. I get all that and stuff, but if you do look at it, you also mentioned the fact of, well, you want him to be more of a poacher, or you want him to be more of a player that's going to be able to attack the back line. But then when we have a low block, then it's going to be an issue or a problem. Well, guess what? We have a false replacement for a false nine. We do have other options to go for. So therefore, we do have multiple options to go forward with this club. It's not one. It's not, we have one flavor and that's it. So I mean, yeah, if we have all these different flavors that we can put into the mix, that's an exciting adaptation to this club. Okay, so I get that too. Also, we also talked about his misses and this and such, whatever. Well, if you want to talk about the Portuguese league, yeah, he scored a lot of goals. He was the first in goals scored. He was fifth in shots on target. He was touches in the box. He was second. Fast breaks. He was seventh. Take on attempts. He was low on take on attempts, and that shows that the quality attempts that he get, or the attempts that he did get, he made use of them. Okay, so that's one of those things. But then you also look at his numbers. Okay, and I'm not going to say he's Harry Kane. Okay, but he has similar. If you look at the numbers per se, he has similar characteristics that amount to a Harry Kane. Okay, as in if you look for the actual as they call it, I'm trying to think what they call it, the profile.
What? No.
Shh. Yes. Well, yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. I know because I'm talking to G, because G does in depth, as in when you want to know about a player, I usually turn to, especially when it comes to different leagues, usually look to G. Okay, because G does deep dives. He'll tell you who the player's going to be like, what he's going to be like, and everything else. Okay, now there's people much more adept than myself that have done research on other players. And there was a list of the players that they showed, okay, that were more like Harry Kane all across Europe. Okay. Balogun ranked first to have Harry Kane 90.4% characteristic traits and statistics that rate towards Harry Kane's. Okay, I know this sounds crazy. I can show you the graph though. You know, and that's one of those things that Darwin Nunez has 89.4% accuracy towards the same traits that are administered by Harry Kane. Now you might be like, oh, what are you talking about? Oh, you're taking stats, or you're manipulating them. All I'm telling you is what I see too. And that is a player that started to adjust to the system. Understand the fact that counter-pressing is going to create better opportunities for him. Counter-pressing is the heart of what we do on this club. So therefore, he was a poacher. He was someone that ended up doing a lot of what you're talking about. But now he's begun to adjust his game and be able to still capitalize off the opportunities that a counter-press does. The counter-press is going to give him the ball, have opportunities to get the ball and recover the ball in the opportune position of the opposition, that he's going to be able to have easy chances. He's going to be able to go ahead and just attack the goal. And these are all things that this and myself and obviously Klopp and the others in this administration have seen that said this is going to be eventful for us. This is going to be actually very, very fruitful for us. And those are things that I'm looking for.
Why is he the fifth? I do hear what you're saying. By the way, big up Jason Minnow for the £2 super chat. As always says, Albert is unique. Big up, we all love Uncle Albert.
Yeah, man. Mons, let me tell you something, right?
I was about to cook, yo.
No. One second.
Just because you heard Harry Kane? Just because you heard Harry Kane?
It's for me.
I was wondering.
For me, the metric that I use is a really simple one because I'm tired of using my brain. Okay. The metric I use is how many goals did Suarez score in his first season?
In his first season here?
11, 8, 12,
yeah, for Liverpool. How many goals
11,
did he score?
Was it 11, 12? It wasn't that high. It was quite low.
Okay. How many goals did Sadio Mane score in his first season?
No, he scored 15. He scored 15 goals, if you want to know the numbers.
Okay. How many?
All comps, 15 goals.
How many did Nunez score?
In all comps.
No, I'm saying Nunez scored 15 goals, all comps. That's
right. And his
total
total goal contribution was 19, right? 15 and 4 assists, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was the second leading goal scorer for Liverpool. I think that we are letting the misses that we saw characterize him a little too much. I think that, like it's already been said, the system has been tweaked a little to help him do better. If he doesn't do better next season, we can all jump on your side, Mons. For now, I personally think that guy is a lethal weapon. And seeing that people are buying Erasmus Højlund for 70 million pounds, I'm happy we have him. Right? Somebody just bought a 20-year-old kid who has scored 9 goals in 32 matches. 9 goals in 32 matches for 70 million pounds. Let's just be happy we have him, because if we hadn't bought him last year, they'll be selling him for 150 million pounds right now.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Uncle. I hear what you're saying. All I'm saying, like, we can do the Harry Kane statistics and all of this stuff, but when that whistle blows and you kick the football,
right?
No one can convince me that this guy is a creative on the ball. His footballing fundamentals aren't that good. What he excels
they don't have to be.
I know. I'm saying, but this is my reply to 12 man, and then I'll get to what you're saying about the misses, the shaping our perception of him. In terms of what he can do with his movement and whatnot, because there are even Darwin Nunez fans, like super Nunez fans, who will tell you, yeah, cool, he's not that good in football, but look at his movement, look at the chance he creates. That's what often the argument you're going to get with him. But even when he's not playing off the shoulder and when he does receive that ball, I'm not going to lie, he is still a second behind the intent. He's a second behind the play that Liverpool, the style, to be up to speed to the style. He doesn't fit that. And that's not his fault, because again, it's about his strengths and how we get the best out of his strengths. But
when's the last time we've had an actual forward, okay, that has the pace that he has?
Torres, and what did we win with Torres?
Exactly. That,
Benteke.
notice how long. First off,
What did we
he
win with
just
Torres?
went to he just
Benteke.
went to, and that's someone I'm not trying to make him say that he's the next Harry Kane. I'm not saying that he's going to be the next Suarez, who is his mentor. Okay, who is literally his mentor. When he was going through all this stuff, you know who called him? Suarez did. Okay, and I get it. Maybe that doesn't amount to much to any people, but that does amount to something to me. That at least he has someone like a world great in his corner, helping him get through some of these different difficulties that he's facing, especially with the fan base.
Okay, talk, man.
Yeah.
Okay, talk, man. How good are our wingers? Great, right? We got quality wingers, right? Liverpool,
yeah, sure, absolutely.
We have amazing wingers. To get the best out of our wingers, do we need a striker or a false nine?
To get the best, it depends. Now, are we going to say, first off, our wingers aren't true wingers; they're inside forwards. But when Diaz is in, yes, that's more of a traditional winger. Yeah, he's more of a left wing traditional winger than he is a left side inside forward.
I agree. I'm just what I'm saying is Nunez. I know. Hold on, Uncle. I know Nunez. Listen, honestly, guys.
Yeah, I'm listening.
When it comes to movement, I'm playing on the shoulder. Yeah. He is brilliant at that.
Right.
You cannot catch that kid. He is blisteringly quick.
Right.
He is ridiculously quick.
Absolutely.
He's agile for someone his size. He's got a leap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can judge a situation in the box probably quicker than a lot of guys. Maybe I'd say the only person I'd say is Jota, who's more of like a poacher. Is Diogo Jota, who's probably right there with him as well. Yeah, you can even say Salah at times. Salah scored a lot of tap-ins last season, more than I actually would have expected. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
However, when it comes to winning the ball high up and knowing the press, Darwin Nunez is probably the best presser of the ball, but he's not the most intelligent presser of the ball in terms of knowing when and when not to press. And in terms of receiving the ball with his back to goal and getting the boys up the pitch in transition, in attacking transition, Nunez is more of a skip the midfield straight to the attack. Skip the midfield straight to the attack. My opinion lies on what's best for Liverpool, and I like what Nunez can do, but I don't think Nunez's strengths propel Liverpool to where they need to be. I think perfecting the false nine is where Liverpool is what gets Liverpool where they need to be.
You're stuck on.
Even if Nunez scores 30 goals, we are not doing like at the end of the day. Trying to accommodate for his style for me will be worse for Liverpool than it will be better for Liverpool.
But could you not agree?
Let me ask you a question.
Could you not agree that what A said, what A said was pertinent too in this conversation, in that bringing in some more facilitators, actually qualified facilitators for that, because you actually mentioned El Nino. The one unique thing El Nino had was a Xabi Alonso or a Steven Gerrard, who could get him passes and opened up that back line.
But Salah did give him passes. He has the most big chances missed.
Yes,
but that's a winger giving him passes.
He doesn't.
Did you realize?
Hold on. Why are people telling me Haaland has a KDB? Bro, this guy has had ample chances. He brings his own chances.
Did you realize that Salah has adjusted his game? Salah has adjusted his game for Nunez. Have you realized? Did you realize that on Sunday?
Yes, and where did that get us?
It got us 4 goals.
Where did it get us?
It will get us somewhere. I have
Nunez scored.
And also,
because we started the season when Salah was a touchdown winner.
You can't decry the contribution of Alexis in this story. Alexis is the one person who can put those little passes on top of his foot. Look, let's give the guy next season. Let's give him next season. You may I respect your opinion. You know I always respect your opinion, but I honestly think that in this case you are judging him a little too early, because the statistic that we have is he scored 15 goals. That's plenty for a first season. He will do better. I have no doubt. And you see, one of the things that I like about the kid is his actual enthusiasm. Notice he looks fitter, he looks sharper, he looks enthusiastic, he has the passion. I think he was unbalanced last season by that first red card he got. It killed some of his passion. He had to adjust to the game, adjust to the language. Let's give him this season. If he doesn't cook this season, we know what to do. But
He's
if you ask
gonna have
me,
to play to cook. He's gonna have to
if
play
you
to
ask
cook.
me,
Yeah.
I'll be happy if he scores 15 goals, but Jota also scores 15. Diaz scores 10. What's his name? Alexis gives us 11. Salah gives us his regular 30. And you know what? If you do a modern distribution and you plot those curves, we win the league.
I hear what you're saying. I agree.
And-
By the way, I want Nunez to succeed.
Mont.
This is
Yeah.
just what I see. And
Mont.
again, for Nunez to cook, he's gonna have to play. And whatever you guys are saying is right, and the hierarchy is seeing something crazy within him, then why is he the fifth? Why is he the bottom of the pecking order of all the attackers at our club? Let me know. Why the second Gakpo came in, he was made to play ahead of Nunez when he was fit. Why at the back end of the season when Nunez wasn't playing,
that's
Liverpool
unfair.
winning.
That's because it's
Wait,
his
Mont,
first
it's not
season
unfair, and I'll let
and he
you go
didn't
out.
perform.
Okay,
I
But
understand.
what we're saying is that this preseason he has been performing, and the system has changed to cater to him when he's playing.
He's not going to play.
system.
He's not going to start. He's not playing. He's not starting versus
Well,
Chelsea.
we don't know
Mont,
that. We can't read into the future.
Wow.
So we don't know that yet.
Gakpo came
Plus,
and charged
we
down
have
the door.
we have to take a look at.
So you guys
Gakpo came and charged down the door. That wasn't the plan for Gakpo. Gakpo
Exactly.
came and
That's
simply
my point.
barged into the room, charged down the door, and the rest is history. That wasn't a plan for Gakpo.
That's my point. That is my point.
But you see,
the fact that someone could come in and it's not even his plan.
in as much as Gakpo is undroppable, Klopp wants Nunez to succeed. You see, I always say this thing. I'm hoarse from saying it. There's what we want and what Klopp will do. Let me give you an ironclad guarantee. Nunez starts against Chelsea. He starts.
No way.
100% guarantee. I'll bet
No
$1 with you. You can bet £1. So
No
I'll
way.
bet $2. You can bet £1.
No.
I'm telling
Uncle,
you,
I think Jota is going to be subbed in. I think that's the way he will play it in Chelsea.
Nunez will start.
Guys, let me get to these super chats, by the way. Big
Nunez
up
will
Jason
start,
Miller,
yes.
super chat. He says if Nunez didn't
And
have
he'll
to
be
finish,
subbed like
be
60th
class.
minute.
Fair enough, Jason. I hear what you're saying. Big up for the super chat there. Also, Jada Activist says, Sir Monts, you wouldn't take Haaland then. Haaland wouldn't be hopium. It'll be logic. My argument is that, like,
This
it'll
man
be logic.
is always,
He's
always doing Shakespearean acting. What's
No, I'm
opium
not
and
saying
logic?
Haaland has averages a goal per game everywhere he's been. So there is no evidence to show that he will not score goals. There's no evidence. There's no evidence of it. So even if he doesn't suit the system, did he suit Pep's system? Hell no. Did he still score 50 goals? He wasn't even when he was a detriment to Pep's system, he was still scoring goals.
Do you think
This is
Haaland
that
scores
good.
another 50 goals next season?
Unfortunately, Nunez is not Haaland. He won't be Haaland.
No, he's not. Nunez is Nunez.
Nunez is Nunez. Yeah, Nunez is Nunez, and that's not the pressure. I don't want that sort of pressure on Nunez. It's nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? But guys, we have to wrap this up because we've gone well over time. We are 25 minutes over time. The Nunez stream can come out another time. We can have this conversation next week after a few more games. Big up everyone in the comments. Big up Klopp's hamstring.
Get me my DM, bro. Get me my DM. Otherwise,
I'm being called a 7-year-old kid. I'm being told I have mental health issues.
Who said that?
Someone in the comments.
All of this for Nunez, you know. That's why I wanted to just keep quiet
All of
and
this
just let
for Nunez.
everybody just
You
run
know,
the rhythm.
there's
Look,
something-
there's people who like
there's
just so
Man,
before we
man,
even
like
end the whole.
GG's, man, like I hate Nunez. I want him to succeed just as much as everyone else. I just don't. If I'm allowed to think that he's not going to succeed based on what I see, as opposed to what I want.
What I think, and this is where I was just going. This is where I was going was that the problem with people, not again, no one on the panel, just more people that I see, people in the chat as well have been saying a few things. The problem with the people who think Nunez is going to do so well, they seem to have an issue the second you mention he's not going to do well, which I find so weird because it's like, well, we've both obviously clearly, 12 obviously said it, Albert's obviously said it, A's obviously said it, and Zlak, sorry, has obviously said it. Both sides got evidence. for the points that they're making. So let's just wait and see. Do you know what I mean? Like Albert might be right. He might start that first game of the season. He might go out there and just bag you 30 goals. Do I think so? Hell no. Does Montz think so? Hell no. Do you three think so? Yes. Do other people think so? Yes. And it's just mix and match.
I prefer a better distribution of goals because it works better all the time, every time.
It all depends on the team that you've got, because ultimately, sometimes if you can get a team where you've actually got a main guy where the team can be resolute and do other things, it doesn't matter about the other players. I don't care if one player on our team, Salah, Nunez, Gakpo, if one player got 40, 50 goals and everyone else got 5 and 3 and we won something, we're not going to say anything. We'll just be like, that's perfect.
Mhm.
You know, it would just be one of those things. We're just happy because clearly we've got a very good attack. We've got variation in the attack and stuff like that. But I feel like what Montz is saying, for me, it just holds a bit more weight, because the reality is the way that we want Nunez to be integrated into the team doesn't look like it's going to do us anything. Whereas we've literally, and I mean, Klopp has literally shown you, he bought a guy in January, he displaced the guy he bought because that guy can't do the job that he wants him to do. And we're seeing the results of that. So I'm not saying that Nunez will not do well. He might do well, but your manager, the guy that we all trust, he's literally shown you that this is the guy that he wants to play. So if that is what he's showing you, I'm super confused as to why people sit there and like, no, but he's going to do that. I'm like, but the manager, forget what me and Montz think, forget that, because we're not that important. The manager has literally shown you, hey, I want this guy to actually do the role because that guy can't do it. That's fine. He can do something else though. He can play a different way. If we play that way, he looks a bit more effective. But guess what? That's not how I want to play. That's just a way to get him to be effective. It's not the way that I want to play football. Klopp has not once at all in this whole year shown us that he wants to play Nunez's way. What he's tried to do is get Nunez to play our way. But Nunez can't do it. That's fine. We've seen the way that Nunez can play. That's not the way that Klopp wants to play. So if the manager's showing you, that's why I get confused again. Why do people combat that? I'm like, but the manager's telling you. Forget what me and Montz are saying. The manager's telling you. Fuck it. We've got an agenda, but the manager's telling you.
I said that in one sentence. I said, why is Nunez 5th choice attacker? You man tell me that. You man tell me that.
Yeah,
people are arguing with the manager, but then scream, let's trust Klopp. Trust him. Trust what he's doing then. Just trust him.
And the reason I would say we should trust him is because he's actually changing up the system. I don't think there is a fixed attacker that he's going to play. He's going to care. It depends on.
No, well, there is obviously Salah being the fixed attacker.
Well, yeah. But he's an exceptional player, of course.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that he's gonna switch out things up. He's not gonna play. Gakpo is not gonna play every single game in the same position. He might be switched over to the left wing. He might bring in, Jota playing through the middle. So we don't necessarily. Yes, his preferred right now is Gakpo through the middle, and he switches up Lewis and Jota on the left wing, depending on who's playing. But that doesn't mean that that's going to be fixed system.
Nothing needs to be fixed. It's just about majority.
I think G has told you where Nunez lies in the squad. He's told you where the manager believes he lies in the squad.
How do you say that?
And we're now talking about how the attackers are going to be rotated. If we're talking specifically about Darwin Nunez, he sits bottom of the list for the attackers we currently have.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I think that's a misstatement.
I don't think it's safe.
There's no reason. There's no reason why. There's no reason. There's a particular reason why. Yeah, he's wearing a number 9 on his back. There's a reason why. Also, though, the point is, everyone in their mind has it that he had to come in and play exactly like Haaland. He had to come in running. And the fact is,
no. But talk. You're basically that statement right there. That's where you're going wrong before you've even got into your point, because you're talking about everybody else. Talk about the
everyone else.
Manager.
Okay, everyone else.
What we think is irrelevant.
Not everyone else. Gee, that's not everyone else, because I have heard Haaland's name mentioned many times. So obviously he's being.
So Klopp wants him to play like Haaland.
I never said that. I didn't say that.
You just said that's what people
let me
are
repeat it for you. Let me repeat it for you because you're mistaking my words. I never said that Klopp or myself had the interpretation he was going to play like Haaland. I said that people had the misconception that he was going to come in and bang and play and compete with numbers against Haaland. There's all this.
So what does that
Haaland
mean
versus
in
Nunez.
reference to Klopp? Is the point I'm trying to make? What's that got to do with Klopp?
I never said Klopp. I never said.
No.
Klopp.
I'm asking you. What does that have to do
with Klopp? Where I was going to say with Klopp is that one thing Klopp did say is he's a long-term project, not immediate, long-term project. So therefore, in his mind, he knew it was going to take some time for this player to adjust to what the system and what he wants from this player and what he envisions this player can create. And that's exactly what we're seeing.
Is that not what Monts has just said? So that's just what Monts is saying.
Yeah.
This
is my point.
No,
so right now,
you're not making much sense to me. But go ahead. We're not communicating. But let's get there. Let's bridge.
Yes. So if Nunez is a long-term project, then
it's
okay to say right now he's not good enough. So therefore, he's hold on. He's right now he's a long-term project, and we have bought him for what he's going to give us over the next 3-4 years. So within this year. And what we saw right now, the sample size that we have right now, is not good enough. And it's evident with the hierarchy in the club because a guy came in and he wasn't that effective in the left wing. But the second he was put as a false nine, he was ultimately preferred already to the guy that we spent 85 million on. And that guy was fit as a fiddle and he sat on the bench and he came off the bench to play 30 and 20 minutes for the rest of the season, while the system looks infinitely better with him instead of Nunez, while he'd only been here since January. Why is that? And that's not me. It's not me. It's not Monts' fault.
Monts, you are saying what happened last season. What are you seeing in the preseason matches?
I'm seeing everyone getting minutes because everyone's always going to get minutes.
No. I'm talking about the pattern of play, especially when Salah's in the game. What are you saying?
It's not that much different. It's similar to the start of last season. More similar to the start of last season. A little bit more intricate with McAllister, but we don't actually have a DM. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm seeing this season. Remember, the pre-season is something where Trent has played at the 6th this season. Players are playing everywhere. Jadon Sancho is being played as a false 9. No.
Let's not even mention that fruitcake's name.
But my point is, managers are swapping.
It's not fruitcake season, man.
That's what they're doing. At the end of the day, you man can say what I'm saying about Darwin is my opinion. It's not my opinion. You know
what?
He couldn't get back into the team because Gakpo was doing a better job in the position that Klopp wants him to play. That's why even when he was playing, Nunez was playing left wing. He got moved up to the left wing. He wasn't even playing in the position he was bought for.
That's also because our left wings had been injured. You watched last year, right? Was not Diaz. Wait, hold on. You talked about 5th choice. Did you not know Diaz got injured last year? Did he not?
Yes.
Did Hata get injured last year for substantial periods of time? Were they not injured?
But
yes.
Even for Uruguay, he plays on the left wing. He plays on the left wing for Uruguay.
Before, look, it doesn't even matter. This whole conversation is actually even irrelevant because the reality is we all know some of us think he's going to bang. Some of us don't think he's going to bang. We all have an opinion on where we think. Let's do what Albert said, which is he thinks he's going to start. Let's just wait until that first game of the season. I'm going to be very intrigued to see what happens. I think that first game will set the tone, and then we can go from there because ultimately, right now, all we have is the evidence of what we've seen. So whether you look at it positively, negatively, it doesn't even matter now at this point. Yeah. Let's just see what he does. If we do get to January and we then see Nunez is taken off like a rocket, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Then me and Monts got to come back here and we got to listen to everyone's shit. Yeah, you were wrong. That's fine. We'll sit here. Not a problem. But then if we get to that January period and I'm still seeing stinkiness, then we're going to need to be having this conversation as to what's going on.
No, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't come back try to rub something in your face.
No.
Also,
I'm not saying. Yeah. I'm not saying rub top.
yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. But look, you spoke about real quick. You spoke about left wing, or he's got pushed out to left wing. KLFC has a great point. Where did Hackbo start the season?
Left wing.
Okay.
So what's the point? I'm confused.
The point is
Move to
this.
the middle.
The point is they're interchangeable positions. These players are interchangeable. He can play left wing. He can play striker. He can
But
play
but
midfield.
what's the level? Not very high.
Hackbo played in the midfield. He played in striker. He played in left wing. So and the same with Nunez. Nunez has played center forward and he's played left wing. He's played 15 matches in left wing. He's played 27 matches as a center forward. He scored 8 goals as a center forward. He scored 7 goals as a left winger. He's obviously produced in both positions. That's what I'm trying to get across.
I'm going to leave it in this. I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, do it.
And by the way, I respect everyone's opinion. By the way, I like the debate. I respect everyone's opinion.
Yeah,
I love the debate. I love the fire. But I'm going to leave it at this. Gakpo, Nunez is obviously for the future, but the Nunez fan, the Nunez, you guys who favor Nunez more than I do, talk like he's good now, but say he's for the future. That one is the one that will ultimately confuse me, and also say that
That's
as well.
Me too.
That that one's a confusing one for me, and also,
did I say he was for the future? Is that what I said?
Huh?
Is that what I said?
No, I called him a long-term project.
He could be a great man. That's a general.
He's starting next
long-term doesn't necessarily. He could be a good player and not be world-class immediately, and then be a long-term project to evolve into a world-class player.
That's not directed directly at you, by the way. That is more like Nunez is for the future, man. So why do you guys call him really good now? Because he's not really, in my opinion, he's not really good now. I believe also if that Nunez had a Man United shirt on, or if he had a Chelsea shirt on, or if he had a City shirt on, everyone would be calling him meaty as hell, mid as hell. Some people even go as far as to say he's crap. So again, that is what I believe. That's what I believe. I look at him as technically, and he's not my preference of attacker.
Right.
I still think he can be utilized in other teams better than we're utilizing him. Someone said in the comments, it might have been JD Activist, he said, is it the system? Is it the system or the player? It's the system. It's nothing to do with him. It's the system. It's the system. If the system was more adept and we played more with a striker, I still think Nunez would cook at United. I think he'd cook for certain teams. Liverpool, unfortunately, are stuck in their ways where we played one way for so long that the players aren't adaptable the way City players are adaptable. So if we have to adapt to one player, he needs to produce and be world class off the back, because that is a big sacrifice. That's just what it is. That's the way I see it. And that's not fair on Nunez. Let me land. That's not fair on Nunez.
You are our own version of Rory Jennings, but we'll see in 2 weeks.
Don't disrespect me.
Don't disrespect Rory.
Big up Jason McNeil for the super chat. He goes, another cracking show, lads. Smashing content again. Big up Liverpool Talk, man. Obviously, man appreciates you.
You're a brilliant advocate.
I appreciate
You're a brilliant advocate, though. But I simply just think that we are not giving the guy enough time to produce. I think he starts on 12 or is it 13th August? I think he will start.
Yeah. What day again? Oh, 12 days.
Yeah,
it's Sunday.
I said Monty Jennings. You go.
In any case, Mons, do you remember a certain Gary Lineker? Remember Gary Lineker?
Yes.
Gary Lineker had absolutely no ball sense whatsoever. You give him the ball outside the box, you've worried him. But what was he doing inside the box?
What did Gary Lineker win, by the way? Does anyone know? I actually genuinely wanted to know. What did he win?
FA Cup, I think.
He won the league in Japan. No.
Let's end the stream, man. Let's end the stream.
Actually, he won the title.
Hey, stop. Hey, hold on. Hey!
He won the title with Everton. Come on. He won the title with Everton.
Hey, it's been another episode of Big Six Plans. We'll see you all next time, man. Take care, people. We'll see you all next time.
Big up.
I love